Hello everyone, welcome back to our sixth episode of our new playlist, AI Automation in Service Industries. I'm your host Stefan, and in this video we're going to talk about AI for data-driven decision-making in consulting. So this is the second of 3 episodes in our series for specifically for consultants. We have each section of the playlist, we have 5 sections of the playlist, each for a different service industries. This time we're focusing on consultants. So this time we're going to just jump straight into this. So the consulting industry has a lot of data. It's very driven by data, and here there's so much potential for AI, so much potential for automation, both for how consulting companies are run internally and the kind of work that consultants do out in the field for their clients. So in this episode, we'll explore how consulting firms can harness AI to make smarter, more informed decisions, analyze vast amounts of data, predict for future outcomes, and optimize strategic recommendations to deliver exceptional results for clients. So let's just jump right into this. So what is the real role of AI in consulting? There are so many applications for this in consulting, kind of depending on what type of consultant you are, which industry you're focusing your consulting on. But despite, regardless of your industry, there are in my opinion, there are always some way you can find to apply this and where it can be useful in your situation as well. So some of the key areas here we'll focus on are data analysis and insights, predictive analytics, operational efficiency, client engagement, and scenario modeling. So AI can play a significant role in consulting, especially in these areas. So let's jump a bit deeper into this. So how does this can this be applied in practice? So AI can quickly process large data sets, identify trends and insights difficult to detect manually, helping consultants deliver faster and more accurate recommendations. So this is when the data is properly structured, you have clear kind of databases and information flowing everywhere. Here is where AI and machine learning can play a significant part in how to understand and analyze this data. In some cases, the data may not be as well structured, and then it's more difficult to use some other technologies. But even when you have unstructured information, like they aren't clear in a database or so on, it's still possible to use AI in some cases. And here is where a lot of new technology by, for instance, ChatGPT with structured output, and in some of their newer models and so on, has a lot of interesting applications for making even unstructured data possible to provide reasonable automations and applications for when using these models. So what more? Predictive analytics. When you have the historical data, you can also forecast the future, meaning that based on the patterns and what has happened before, you can kind of give set probabilities for what is going to happen in the future. This can help provide some data-driven, future-proof strategies for how to kind of tackle things like market trends, sales growth, risk management, both for themselves and for their clients. Also for operational efficiency, of course, here is where automation of routine tasks is really powerful to save time, because I know I at least don't like to be involved in just doing the manual routine tasks over and over and over again, which I know fully well can be automated and be done a lot more efficient. I see all the applications from my former experience and from what I've learned about this technology so far. So many things that can be done here to improve the operational efficiency, to make sure these things are run smoothly and that you don't need to be kind of actively involved in the kind of nitty-gritty things of running. These things are mostly run by themselves. You just check up on them, that everything is running smoothly, and that you can focus on the bottom line and building your business forward. Furthermore, for client engagement here, things comes in like AI chatbots, assistants, agents, and so on. We can personalize client engagement, offer some insights, tailored advice, enhance overall client experience. You can also kind of, if you want to take it to the even next level, you can connect it up to like the calendar, to your other systems, and so on, depending on how advanced you want to do it. But a lot of interesting possibilities here, at least with how you can actually customize those chatbots and systems based on your situation. Also, of course, scenario modeling is kind of similar to predictive analytics, but it basically models different business scenarios, outcome, and assess different strategies. For instance, when you have mergers or expansions, you can make informed evidence-based recommendations based on your simulations or modeling from those scenarios. So before we continue, what are some real-world examples of AI in consulting firms? How far have, especially the bigger consulting firms, come so far when applying consulting in practice? So here we'll mention 4 examples. We'll mention McKinsey & Company, Deloitte, and Accenture. So these are some of the biggest consulting companies in the world, and all of them have a clear focus on AI in their growth, their development, and at least have kind of dedicated teams, dedicated resources specifically focusing on AI, which means that, okay, the biggest ones are doing it and actively involved in reinvesting and focusing on this field, which is telling us something in, at least from my view, that this is something big that is going to continue to grow in the future, and this is something that we need to pay attention to, and which I also think is relevant for other consulting firms who want to make the most out of these trends. So here we see, for instance, McKinsey has their own AI consulting arm, Quantum Black, which focus on AI solutions, blending data analytics with strategic expertise. And this came out of their the high performance world of Formula One, and focusing on kind of hybrid intelligence, focusing on the combining AI's precision with human creativity here in their work with Formula One. And then it kind of grew into this kind of Quantum Black and Quantum Black labs, where they do a lot of experimentation and innovation to accelerate AI transformation here. So they kind of focus here on open ecosystem of strategic alliances and enable organizations to scale AI solutions across sectors. So really interesting. Like we at least we who are in the consulting field or have some knowledge of what's going on in consulting know that McKinsey is a massive consulting massive global consulting company with a lot of resources, and they're putting a lot back into AI and growing this. So recommend checking this out as well and exploring what they're doing with AI. And of course, this resource document, you can find it in the description below if you're interested. This has all the links you need, basically for and of everything we're going through here. You can find all the sources and everything within the document. So be sure to check that document out in the description if you're interested in that. Also, Deloitte, they clearly have a focus on AI as well. For instance, with their AI-driven risk management tools, they also have its own dedicated Deloitte AI Institute focusing on AI insights and expertise. They also have the state of generative AI in the enterprise, highlighting that 67% of organizations are increasing investments in generative AI. And this is something we see across the reports, global reports from the big consulting companies, other reports worldwide, that the majority are at least looking into the possibilities of AI and seeing, okay, how can we get an advantage from this? So also interesting to see their development and focus on AI. Same with Accenture. Similarly, they have kind of a new platform called Accenture AI Refinery, which is also dedicated to using AI or even scaling AI based on their common, the business's common obstacles, in this case, as high cost, complexity, security risks, and converting raw AI technologies into scalable AI systems. There are 4 components they're using: agentic architecture, kind of focusing on facilitating kind of autonomous agents capable of executing complex tasks with like minimal manual effort and oversights, and also customized AI models, cost efficiency, and data as a competitive advantage. So that's also something interesting to look at, how these bigger consulting companies have their own approach for tackling AI. They, of course, have a lot of resources to throw at this, to develop new tools, platforms, like technologies with this. So definitely interesting to see how the big ones are tackling this major development in the consulting field. So, but how about you? How do you actually get started what do you actually get started with? How do you choose the right AI tools for yourself, for your own work, for your own data-driven decision-making and applications? So here we've set up a kind of framework for how to go about choosing this, how to get started with this. So here you can see that we've set up, in a sense, a guide here. The steps we follow here are: first, evaluate existing systems and data flows. Then it's possible to go over to beginner level solutions. If you're a complete beginner, maybe intermediate level solution, advanced level solution, or custom based on your needs, basically matching tool complexity to your readiness. So let's go into, how do you actually select and find out which of these stages you are in? So first, you should review kind of what is your readiness for AI, what is your readiness for these new technologies. And here it's relevant to ask yourself a few questions. For instance, what tools do you already use, such for like client data management, analysis, reporting? Are there any gaps or inefficiencies in this process? And how comfortable is your team with AI and automation tools? What are you using already? And how far have you come? How actively are you using these tools? And how long, and how significantly have you started using these new technologies? So for instance, if you are completely new to AI, if your consultants or your leadership generally don't really use much of any AI technologies, including not much even of ChatGPT maybe, or other general AI tools, then it might be a good place to just start their experiments with ChatGPT, other general tools. That's at least a good start to at least get a feeling with what you can start doing with this when you start experimenting directly with ChatGPT first, and then you eventually come up to a limit where ChatGPT kind of isn't good enough to do everything that you want it to do by itself, at least in business applications, especially when you do heavy, big work for your clients. Then you may have to delve a bit deeper, and that's where we go over to these other solutions that we'll get to in just a minute. But what can these help out with? For instance, it can help out with some things like data summarization, basic client engagement, a use case. That can be basic starting point, of course. Don't you, when you're using ChatGPT directly, don't reveal client personal information, proprietary information, and so on. When you're using ChatGPT directly, that's one of the flaws. That's one of the limitations there. So be really careful when you're using it in your work, especially in client work, like this. That you know that don't give it more information than you should, basically. So here is the use case. Process client reports manually. ChatGPT can be integrated to summarize key findings for financial statements, saving time on repetitive analysis. Like if it's publicly available information already released to the public, then of course the information is already out there. It's not that big of a deal, but if it's still kind of insider information, especially if it's company specific information that hasn't been revealed to the public yet, either of your own company or the client, then absolutely be very careful about what information you're putting in there. You should at least anonymize the information in that case, if there are any information like that. So be very careful about that. I want to emphasize that as much as I can, because that's something you really don't want to get wrong. Also, when you go over to a certain step, when you grow more familiar with AI, you can also go over to some custom GPTs. You're not really satisfied with the quality, with the kind of accuracy you're getting from the general ChatGPT, so you want to go to the next level. And that's where the custom GPTs are a good alternative, especially for it's a low effort way to go to the next step here. You still get to use a ChatGPT or a similar AI-based model, but you also give it some specific instructions that you train it on in the back end. That, okay, this is how we want you to run, and then when you first have those instructions established, then you can kind of use that again and again and again based on the same purpose. And you can, for instance, okay, you are a financial analyst who are going to do some financial modeling or something, and just do the instructions there, and then you, based on public financial data or so on, you just throw that in and it does the analysis for you. For instance, that's one example in the financial sector, for instance, and then that helps a lot with basically when you have some use case of ChatGPT you do again and again and again, then custom GPT can be a natural kind of next step to more clearly train it for your purposes. So here it says, for large amounts of financial and operational data, this can help kind of analyze and produce this output on a much better level. And when you get to an even further level of AI usage, then you grow into more advanced areas. And here it may be relevant to establish kind of AI assistants, agents, fully custom AI tools. And this is where you get to the point where you don't just have kind of a custom GPT or something. You actually instruct it to connect with other systems you have, other tools, other softwares, and then this may be applied for like predictive analytics, scenario modeling, as we have mentioned, maybe some risk management and other tools like based on your data sources, based on your information internally in the business. And basically it allows the AI tools to do more within the system and not just be kind of dependent on you interacting with this tool. It can interact with the other systems for you. That's a really powerful application when you get to that stage. This is further advanced in the process. Of course, don't just jump straight into this if you not even gone through the beginning level, of course. But this is where like you kind of want to end up if you're really eager to get started in really applying the real value and applications of AI. So this is useful to consider, customize based on your and the client's needs. So for less tech-savvy clients, may start with simple solutions like ChatGPT-based assistants, ease them into AI, and then if they have kind of complex data and decision-making needs, custom AI models may be more relevant for their purposes in that situation. So match the tool-based tool complexity to their readiness. So important to understand here both your consultancies and your clients' current systems and AI readiness, and then you can choose a level of AI engagement that makes sense for this situation. So then we move over to some of the challenges when implementing AI for consulting firms like yours, maybe. So here we mentioned data quality, integration with existing systems, and change management. These are some of the most significant challenges when implementing these tools, especially for data quality. I've mentioned in previous videos as well, how Deloitte, for instance, have reported a lot of concerns when it comes to the applications of AI based on their data quality. That a lot of clients who have tried to implement AI have had problems when implementing it because of poor data quality and poor data management in their systems. So it heavily relies on proper quality and completeness of the data because inconsistent missing data can lead to inaccurate predictions and insights. So really important to have correct data integrity and have proper kind of data governance practices, especially in bigger companies with a lot of data. Then it's so important to actually get the data right in order for the AI to produce the right outputs in this case. So what I like to do is establish kind of standardized processes, so-called SOPs. You should just search this up if you want to. It's standard operating procedure is what SOP stands for. It can really help to it's basically a process description. What are the steps of these processes? What are the workers actually doing every step of the way of when they're doing their work? That's one thing that is very useful to have established, to have those SOPs before you do, for instance, automations or implement big tools to automate or to enhance some of these tasks. Also, integration with existing systems, especially when you have complex legacy systems, meaning really old systems that are difficult to kind of integrate with these new technologies, then it can kind of lead to inefficiency or even inaccuracies. So here it may be relevant to kind of implement a sort of technology audits, identify potential integration issues, or work together with some AI solutions providers to ensure a good and proper solution to this integration issue. Also, when it comes to change management, this also an important part to because resistance to changes can also slow down some AI adoption. You want to make sure that's kind of your employees, the people are on board, that you don't have some kind of internal resistance against this, which can slow down the process. So make sure you have the right conversations there. Have engaged the stakeholders early in this adoption process, have the proper training, demonstrate the benefits, start with pilot projects, case studies, etc. Then we've now discussed a bit about both the challenges and some of how to get the kind of assess their readiness and choose the right tools based on that. So how do we actually get started to implement AI in consulting? So here it's relevant to start small, scale gradually. I've said this in many of my other videos in this playlist as well. This can help kind of start with identifying where is there most potential here. How can we kind of start with one case where we can kind of show that this process can be done automatically, or at least partly automatically, save us time, maybe even earn us some extra money if it helps us kind of provide new products or new solutions or new things that we can bring out into the market and so on. That this helps kind of, you don't have to kind of set everything on pause. You start with one specific area and then you see that it works there, and then you grow from there. You see what works and then build on that. What doesn't work, you stop doing, of course, which makes sense. And of course, train your team. Will only be as effective as the people using it, of course. So be sure to invest in proper training, make sure they understand the AI tools, are able to understand the outputs, and are able to integrate AI insights into their decision-making processes. Also make sure to partner with AI solution providers. Have this partnering with the right AI providers ensures that your firm get access to the latest technology, best practices, expert support for seamless implementation, and also help you the technical challenges that arise on the way, such as, for instance, integrating AI with legacy systems. Also, especially when your processes and your company grows bigger, AI can become integrated into It's important to implement governance structures to monitor AI outputs, ensure compliance with regulations, avoid reliance on flawed AI recommendation. This is a bit more technical. This on when it grows to a larger scope of your business, especially if your business is a mid-sized or bigger company, then it's important to kind of make this shift in the right way. And this is, I think, will be what is what will be really important in the future to as the AI parts grow into bigger parts of the business, that governance will and oversight will become a more and more important part of how these companies are run, how these companies are governed. In a sense, it will be a really important work. It will be really important work for these businesses to have these right structures in place and people responsible for ensuring these that these governance structures functions well. Hopefully that makes sense, but at least that's something I think will be really important in the future. So then let's summarize again some of the benefits here. What are the impact of AI on consulting outcomes? Of course, as mentioned, this can provide improved accuracy and insights, faster decision making, provide some cost savings and efficiency gain, and a competitive advantage. So a lot of possibilities here, a lot of opportunities here. So I think this has a lot of great applications here. But we've already exceeded 25 minutes, so I'll go right ahead to the concluding section here. So AI-driven decision-making has a lot of potential for the consulting industries, makes you able as a consultant to provide more accurate, timely, and impactful recommendations to your clients, and you can enhance data analysis, streamline operations, and provide deeper insights that drive your client towards success. It's also important to consider the key challenges like data quality, system integration, and change management in the process. So here, those that successfully integrate AI into their processes will not only improve client outcomes, but also position themselves as industry leaders, gaining a significant competitive edge in this evolving landscape. So what are the next steps now? Okay, this is only the 6th of 17 episodes in this playlist, so be sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this. The next video will be AI and workflow automation for product management, so this will also be specifically for consultants. It will be the last in the section in the playlist for consultants, so be sure to stay tuned for that. And also, if you're interested to find out more a risk-free, low-ticket way to get started with AI, we do offer an AI automation discovery workshop, so be sure to check the link for that in the description below for a call about how we can fine-tune and a workshop specifically for you to find concrete use cases and value in starting to apply AI and automation based on your specific situation and business. So other than that, hope you all have enjoyed this video. Looking forward to see you all in the next episode, and I'm just gonna wish you an amazing day and see you all in the next video.